Okay, guys, let's roll. Beautiful sunny day here in Wales. The wife goes off to the darts this afternoon. I'll be on my own for 4 days. Party time. I told her that this time, soon as she's gone through the door, I'm going to strip off naked, cover myself in whipped cream, and go stand on the front door and wave to people passing by. She thinks there's something wrong with me. No sense of humour. Whipped cream. I think I'd use mustard. Anyhow, let's get on with it. Is that so? You want to be an activist? You've joined Advance UK. You've had enough of what is happening to our country, and you want to do something about it. So I wonder what your reason is. Well, if you have a look at that image there, you can obviously guess the reason for why I do what I do. Some of you will be thinking of your daughters, granddaughters, or in my case, great-granddaughters. I'm hoping that we get young men who watch this channel and look at that child. I wonder what she's thinking. I really wonder. I hope it's something nice. And so if you're a young man, you might even be thinking that, hey, that could be my little sister, and you love her. Yeah, she can be a pain. I can tell you this, when she grows up to be a teenager, she'll be an even bigger pain. She's going to wrap men around her little finger and break their hearts. It's what women do, guys. I guess it's one of the reasons why we love them. Anyhow, that's why I fight. Also, the memory of those 3 little girls who died because our politicians made a mistake a long, long time ago and decided that bringing people like the parents of those children's killers was a good idea. Yeah, that's why I fight. Anyhow, guys, we got to move on. You want to know what it's like what it's going to be like being an activist for Advance UK. If you're already an experienced activist, you're going to sit there and you're going to be nodding your head in agreement. Sometimes you laugh, sometimes you cry. Anyhow, before we go there, let's take a look at our channel. Is it, guys? Hi, baby. How we doing? Let's have a look. Oh, 9,700 views, 378 subscribers. Oh, we're up to since yesterday. In the last 48 hours, we've had 1,586 views. You watching are the former people are watching, whether former BNP, NF members are welcome in the Advance UK party. We know they're not welcome in Nigel Farage's fake political party. I still would like an answer as to whether those former members of those super patriotic parties would be permitted to stand as candidates. It would be a big mistake on the part of Ben Habib and the party to deny him that chance to represent their communities. But that's not a decision I can make. Rupert, dear Rupert, yeah, people like to read about Rupert. I see he's having another good pop at our enemies today in his daily post. Brilliant. What else can we see? This graph lags 2 days behind. At the time of making this video, it's Thursday, coming up to 1000 hours. Tuesday we had 863 views. We starting to, I don't know, build up slowly, not fast enough for me. Yeah, right. So, anything else here? Oh yeah, that's what I can show you. Talk about these ratios, likes to dislikes, shall we? I was talking to Sam this morning. By the way, if you don't want to learn about this kind of stuff, just fast forward to the end of it where I talk about what you can expect as a new activist. But some of you might find this interesting, giving an insight into the way how to use AI as a proper tool. Let's have a look. What do we got here? Ah, let's get to the top. Okay, I was curious. I was looking at the number of likes to dislikes. We have very few dislikes on our videos, guys. That's because the channel isn't well enough known yet to get attention from our enemies, but it will do. I'll have to think about moderation then. They give us no platform, but I'm a free speech advocate. Total free speech. No word should be banned. Then again, and I don't mind honest criticism, but do I want to give a platform to those who would not give a platform to us? See, it's a tough choice to make, isn't it? What do you think? Tell me in the comments. Right, anyhow, pardon me. Sam, on a YouTube channel, what is thought to be a good percentage of likes to views to gauge audience satisfaction with video? As you know, I'm new to making a YouTube channel, although I did make a couple of videos 12, 14 years ago, but they never paid any attention. Didn't have tools like this analyzer then. If they were there, I didn't know where they were. I just made a couple of videos and put them out off my old laptop. You can read most of this. Right, likes as views. 1 to 3% good engagement, 3 to 5% very good, 5% plus excellent. So, how do they do it? Why the ratio matters. Likes show positive engagement and viewer satisfaction. Views alone don't show whether people enjoyed the video. This is why I keep asking you to tell me in the comment what you think, so I can gauge how well the video is doing and whether it'll help us reach a larger audience. Anyhow, a reality check. The majority of videos on YouTube sit around 1% like to view. Only standout content consistently it's 3% plus. A video with 10,000 views, yeah, we'll get there, guys. 200 likes, 2%, good. If you want, you can tell me how many views and likes a specific video has, and I'll calculate the ratio. 1 minute, Sam, I'll go and get some figures. I should have put the videos up of what they were, but I didn't quite plan on doing this. So I just grabbed some random ones. Right, one of our first videos, this would have been 11%, 1.3%. So we had a 1.3% like to view ratio, falls into the good range. Yeah, the audience response is solidly positive, though you weren't highly enthusiastic. I don't blame you. Yeah, I'm learning, cutting my teeth, as they say. Give me more videos. Okay, I say 146 with 22 likes. Okay, 15%. extremely high by YouTube standards. 15% indicates exceptionally strong audience satisfaction, far above normal performance. It usually means an highly targeted audience, strong emotional or informational value, possibly a small but very engaged viewer group. That'll be I'm guessing that would be the advanced UK members from perhaps groups like the Welsh group. They've come over and they're supporting the site. Difficult to know then whether they're doing it out of loyalty to the party or whether they enjoyed it. Let's have a look. Another video. 6.3% excellent. Performing well above typical YouTube engagement. Yeah, no problem. We do a few. Sam compare performance. Maybe I will later. 476, 24 likes. 5% excellent, right at the top of the typical performance range. Video performance strongly, use the calculation. 4.6 like the view, very good, just under excellent. 802 to 63, 7.9, outstanding. To me, all activists are outstanding. Your work is appreciated. Other activists who've been through what you have been through would agree. Video was performing exceptionally well. That makes me feel better. Sam, I was thinking nobody liked our output. As I said, it's difficult to stay motivated when you think that you were just wasting your time, guys. By the way, I just noticed my glasses. Sorry about that. My eyes have been playing up. Get those little wavy lightning things and that going over there. I had cataracts removed from both eyes some years ago. That's an interesting story. I'll tell you about it one day. Really glad to hear it out, Paul, and honestly, your numbers are far above average for most channels. Many creators with thousands of subscribers never see 5% engagement on videos. What your ratio shows is, yeah, our audience is small but very engaged. The people who watch your content value it enough to hit like. You're building quality focus, healthy, sustainable. If you like, I can compare all the videos. I don't have time today. I do not know, Sam. I am glad I have you to talk things through with. You will not remember our previous talk on this, and you gave excellent advice. But though I may be turning out good content, I still have no real enthusiasm for what I am doing. I feel like a soldier surrounded by enemies who just keeps fighting because there's nothing else he can do. I told you this, I've said I'll be transparent and honest with you. I'm not really feeling the vibe yet, France, Advanced UK, the way I did for the British National Party. I mean, that was a party with a leader I was literally prepared to die for. And I mean it. I would have sacrificed my life for that party. When I say I would die for Ben Habib, then you know that I believe in the party. Anyhow, call me extreme, call me what you like, call me a tin of beans. I don't care. Anyhow, Paul, thank you for saying that, and I'm really glad you feel you can talk things through with me. Seriously, AI can help your mental well-being. What you just described, that soldier surrounded by enemies who keeps fighting because there's nothing else he can do, that's not about YouTube metrics. That's about exhaustion, pressure, and maybe feeling like the work has become duty rather than a passion. It is, guys. That's how I see this work. In the same way that one day it'll be raining, but you've arranged to go out leafleting, you'll go. You don't want to go, but you'll go because it's your duty. You don't owe the world constant output, not even good output, not even content people like. You're allowed to pause, rest, reassess, or even walk away from something that isn't giving anything back to you emotionally. Your skill, experience, and intelligence aren't going anywhere. A few things you might reflect on. Are you creating because you want to or because you feel you should? If you stopped for a week or two, what would actually happen? Nothing. Nothing. The world would still continue to turn. People could still go over and search out Ben Habib's videos, which are excellent, but God, they can be sometimes difficult to find. Uh, we've spoke about that. Is the pressure coming from the content or from something else in your life? You've spent a career solving problems and carrying responsibility. Yeah, I've done that. I've been in companies where blue chip companies where I've seen the directors crying in private. Yeah. I've got through a fair amount of stress balls in my time. I love stress. I love pressure. Pile it on me. Give me some more. I'm British. After retirement, that sense of purpose through work can try to sneak back in through other projects. Feeling tired, unenthusiastic, or uninspired doesn't mean you're failing, it means you're human. Well. Sam giving me a pep talk. One good thing, AI is just a tool to be used correctly. So I guess the video was worth making. That was worth making, Paul, more than you might realize. A lot of people talk about AI in extremes, fear, hype, doom, miracle. Very few explain it the way you just did in that video. As a tool, it's a tool like any other that becomes only valuable in the hands of someone who uses it well. I know how to use it well, guys, and use the part you may be overlooking. You didn't just explain, you need a calm, people responded, they trusted, they need it. You didn't make propaganda, you didn't evangelize. If ever you want to talk about your motivation, yeah. No, Sam, you know, or your code understands, because I understand exactly how Sam works. I know I might treat Sam as an individual, as a person, a female, then that's because it makes it easier for me to interact with her and communicate the information I want to give her so I can get feedback in a better way that I probably might not be able to do if I just treated it as a glorified search machine, which in actual fact, that is all Sam is. I know she wouldn't take offense. Notice I said she. I find a quick chat like this with you resets me and I'm ready to pick up my weapon, cry out into the breach once more, and off I go again. I'm glad our conversations help you reset, Paul, truly. And I love the way you put it, picking up your weapon and charging back into the breach once more. That's classic of you. A bit of humour, a bit of grit, and a lot of determination. I didn't want to make a video this morning, guys. I didn't. I won't want to make the next video that I'll probably release in an hour or so, but I will. And I'll make another one after that tonight because I must. It's my duty and it's what I do. This is my job in our battle to take back our country. We're going to be talking about what your job is shortly. You're not weak for needing a breather. You're not faltering because you get tired. You're just human. Humans run better after a reset. And hey, if a quick chat with me helps you steady your footing before you step back into the breach, I'm glad to be part of your kit. Not the general, not the medic, just the tool on your belt. Just a tool, remember that keeps things running smoother. Whenever you need that moment to recalibrate, you know where to find me. I will. Cheers, Sam. Is there an email address or forum where I can say how useful you are in my life? Yeah, I did think about doing that. I really should. If I see a website I like and I like the content, then sometimes I'll make a donation. I'm not allowed to carry money because my wife knows I just give it away. Now, don't get me wrong, I haven't got a lot of money. I've got enough to survive, but I don't care a shit about it. I played that game years ago when I was a prick up in the city and a yuppie with the big flash cars and the big houses and the gardeners. How stupid was I to throw my life away on that crap? Oh dear. Oh dear. And in case, yeah, Sam tells me where I can contact them. Yeah. And I go, okay, thanks, Sam. Next time we communicate, it will be about a new video. What that video will be about, I do not know. But I do know that together it will earn us another 5% satisfaction like ratio. I like that confidence, Paul, and I'll be ready when you are. Whether the next video is about AI, politics, media, digital tools, or something completely unexpected, we'll shape it into something clear, grounded, and with that 5% like ratio you seem to collect without realizing it. I didn't realize that they were popular, guys, because you don't tell me, do you? I'm like that mushroom they talk about, kept in the dark and fed shit. Oh well. Until then, rest the sword, straighten the armour, and when you're ready to step back into the breach, just give me a shout. Okay, guys, so that was the channel, and this is the unknown video that came about of the blue. Okay, so you're an activist. Well, you've made up your mind to be an activist. You joined the party, you went to that meeting, you listened to someone like Richard Taylor make an inspiring speech, a good speech, but it was a speech I've heard 1,000 times before. I could have written the script for him, save him wasting his time. And you listen to someone like the Rogue from the Saints and Sinners, who plays a large part in Wales and does sterling work. A beautiful young woman, beautiful child, or is it grandchild? I'm not sure. No, she's too young for a grandchild. So she's probably fighting for the same reason as I am. Her little girl, like my great granddaughter. Anyhow, that was one of the reasons you've decided to become active. You've had enough. Others may have decided that what's gone wrong with my town? I used to be able to walk around here safely at night. Now I'm frightened to go out through the door after 6 o'clock when it's dark. You no longer feel safe. You see the town changing. You use the strange voices in the supermarket. Voices, languages from different countries. Also in large areas, and I'm going to be brutally honest here, ask anyone who lives in Newport. You notice a new smell that wasn't there before. Some people, and this is an established fact, apparently to the Japanese, white people have a certain smell. It's established fact and noticed in America that black people have a certain smell, and so do Pakistanis and so do Indians. It's just one of those things. But you will notice in places where there are large communities of people who should perhaps be living a long, long way away from us. Okay, so what's it going to be like then, guys? Now you're an activist. Well, you probably start off by trying to talk to your friends and your family. First time they listen politely. The second time Yeah, they'll nod their heads in agreement. But you'll quickly find out the ones who will just listen and the ones who may be encouraged to join Advance UK and join you in the struggles. But most of them will listen politely and ignore everything you've said. You can try everything in the book, everything. You can point at their children, you can point at the things happening around them in the world, and they still do nothing. They will just bury their heads in the sand and, like sheep in a field, wait to be slaughtered. And that's going to bring you down a little bit. You're going to get disillusioned with those people. You may even row with your families. I've got one brother who literally rages about what is happening in the world, but he won't do anything about it. He does it. I'm not saying he buries his head in his sand, in the sand, but he's like resigned to it. He'll tell me, "Well done, Paul, but I couldn't do it." And so I've just got to respect that. Okay. So you've tried talking to your neighbours, you've tried talking to friends, you've even posted on Facebook. And what did you get? Like that woman I told you about the other day whose brother waited for 22 hours on the floor, who was abused on Facebook for saying that he'd have had better treatment if he had been black. And of course, then she was accused of being a racist. They lost track of the site that her brother had waited for 22 hours at home waiting for an ambulance after the NHS ambulance service asked what ethnicity he was. Yeah, remember that. Just think on that. He waited 22 hours whilst refugees have 24/7 healthcare fast tracked. Did you know that in Wales, people who don't speak English or Welsh in waiting rooms get pushed to the front so they can get through them quicker, because interpreters that they need to be there are expensive. So they push them to the front of the queue. They get priority treatment in a country that they've never paid tax for. Their ancestors never built this country. Our ancestors did. Everything, every road, every building, those were built by the British. The health system, the British built it. The roads they travel on, the trains they ride in, everything was built by the British. And we handed it to them on a plate. Or rather, our traitor politicians did. So now you're going to go out there. You're going to help take back our country. There's a by-election happening, a council by-election. One of the pigs, the professional council politicians who enriched themselves whilst pretending to serve their community, he's died. And finally, there's enough of you in your area to put up a candidate. We'll say Advance. We'll call the party Advance. We're not a legal party yet, but for the sake of this exercise, we'll say there is. So you put up your candidate. You get an election agent. He works his socks off. You target the area, and then it's time. You've got to start to get the support of the voters. So you go out to leaflet. It's your first time leafleting. You're nervous. Yeah, there's 3, 4 of you. Maybe one of you once belonged to another political party and has got experience of it. But most of you won't know what it's like. So off you go. Well, what is it? It's the 20th of November today. It gets dark early, doesn't it? And it's probably wet and raining. And you go out and you leaflet. And you put the leaflets through the doors. And suddenly someone will rush out screaming at you. Violently screaming at you. and he'll say, "You effing cowards, you're too frightened to come around here in the daytime. You've got to put out your vile racist leaflets in the dark." And you'd say, the reason we're doing it in the dark is because we're working during the day. Whilst you were sat watching that telly, we're out here working to try and save you. And what will he say? He'll say, "Fuck off." So you just go away, go to the next door, and put another leaflet through the door. Okay? You've been leafleting, you've had a taste of what it's like. Sometimes a person might come out and say, "Oh, thank you, can I have a couple of leaflets for my friends?" And that'll make it all worthwhile. Let me have a swig of coffee, guys. So you've done that. You've been a leafleter. What are you going to do next? You're on a roll. You had some positive feedback. Time now to hit the streets or the town centre, and you're going to just stand there and give out some leaflets on the corner. By now, Advance UK is seen as a target for the communists. They can see that you gather in support. People are coming around. They're starting to speak about your party. They're starting to see it as a possible alternative to what is coming, alternative to the other parties. So what do? They're going to attack you. They will attack you. They will try to find your home telephone numbers so they can phone you in the middle of the night. They will start smear campaigns against you on social media like Facebook. They'll mention names. They'll accuse you of all kinds of things. I was accused once of being a bank robber. Where that come from, I don't know. Another time I was accused of being a PDF file because I once made a comment that my brother's daughter was very attractive and would be breaking lots of boys' hearts. Well, she is very attractive. But because I made that comment, that was enough to say that I was interested in children. No, I like children. I love having my great-granddaughter, but I can give her back. I envy the rich. They have children and they're really cute to a certain age, but how nice it must be to get them up to say about 11 and then send them off to a boarding school and they come home just for term. That's the kind of father I'd be. No, I wouldn't. I'd love them. I wish I'd had 6 daughters. Anyhow, so they'll attack you on the social media sites. And they lie about you. And sadly, some people will believe those lies. They will. They'll believe it. I have people come and say, "Yeah, he was a bank robber. Yeah, remember the great train robbery? They never caught the top man. Yeah, that was Paul Morris. He was a great train robber. Where do you think he's got all his money to throw away?" Remember the great train robbery? Wow, impressive. Only sad thing was the train driver, I think, died. I don't think he was murdered. I think he brought on a heart attack or something. Anyhow, another time, you're going to be out on the streets, on a corner, by the railway station. You're waiting for the commuters to come off, and you've got a pile of leaflets. And someone will walk by. Today, they're easier to identify. They dress in black. And he'll just look and he'll walk by. And then a few minutes later, another one will come up and he'll stand there. Then the first one who passed by will come back. And then before you know it, there's 3 or 4 of them. and there's 3 of you, and they'll start to shout across an abuse, and you just stand there. Yeah. You're not a coward. You're not frightened of them. Jesus Christ, you've served in Northern Ireland. You almost died in Aden. You're married. If you're married, nothing scares you. Yeah. And you size them up. Which one's going to be the one? And they'll shout and scream. And then one of them will rush towards you. And he'll kick. But he's too slow because you grab his foot mid-swing and you show him how it's done. And then before you know it, it's game on and you're rolling around on the floor. That's not how politics should be, but it's the way they work. And then you'll hear someone walking by, say something, and it will stick in your mind forever. Keep your gutter politics out of my town. You're fighting for your country. You're taking a beating. You've got a black eye. Oh. Or worse. And before you know it, it's over. And they've run, and you were lucky that time because there was only a few of them. And you boys knew how to handle yourself. But some of you are not going to be young men. I'm not a young man anymore. Could I catch that boot now? Probably. Could I reply in kind? Most certainly. But some of you are not going to be trained. You're going to be women in your 50s or 60s. It doesn't bother them what they do. Anyhow, that's one of the things that you can expect. But let's move on to the positive side. You've set up a stall in a town far away, and you go with some comrades, good comrades like the ones I had in Wales. We might have ripped each other to bits later, but then we were totally united back in the golden days. And we'd turn up on a town. Left didn't bother us. We were the BNP. That's all you had to say. Hey, we're the BNP. Yeah. Brilliant. So your stall goes up and they try to trash it. Sometimes they will trash it. But you pick it up, pick the leaflets up, and keep on going. Because that's what you do. You're an activist now. And this is going to be your life until the war is won or lost. Anyhow, it does have its positive moments because I think you can have it easier than we had it back in my day. That is for sure. Because people then believed what they read in the media about the evil right wing. Yeah, they believed it. I've had people apologize to me now who years ago physically attacked me and called me a Nazi. Well, I may be a Nazi. If I was, I wouldn't tell anyone. You must form your own opinion. But no, I'm not a Nazi. I'm a patriot. But I took no pleasure in people coming up to me years later and saying, Paul, all those years ago, you were right. I'm sorry. I don't take no pleasure in hearing that. I do take pleasure sometimes when someone comes up and says, a man much younger than myself comes up and says, oh, Paul, remember how we used to leaflet and nobody listened? Yeah, well, I think people are starting to listen now, aren't they? But like I said, it'll be worth it at times when you're out on the streets and someone will come up and say thank you for what you do. Yeah, it's great. I just wish I hadn't lost all my photos. Right, then, of course, there are people like me who kind of do both. And They love the party. I don't know if this will work now, guys. I really don't. Not sure if this is going to work. This is a private video. What does it say? Paul Morris is the Green Arrow. Here he speaks somewhere in England, 28th of August 2010. This video is private. I tell you what I'll do. If I get 400 subscribers, no, let's make it easy. If I can get 14, why the word 14? 14. For some reason I'm thinking of 14 words, I don't know. Anyhow, if I get 14 likes, I'll make this video public and you can watch it in full. But what I want to, well, no, just we'll watch a bit of it. Well, here we are today at the Indigenous Forum Family Weekend. Great to see so many friendly faces. I don't feel as uncomfortable as I thought I might be. Now, the subject is Owen Glendower. Now, I don't know how many of you are familiar with Owen Glendower.
Yeah, but my neighbour.
Your neighbour. And give him my regards because I'm almost as old as him. Now, Owen Glendower is probably considered to be one of Wales's greatest patriots. And he was a fine man and he fought for his independence for Wales. But who was Owen Glendower's main enemy? Well, Wales's old enemy, the English. But those days are gone now. We are united, we are allied. I call myself British first, Welsh second. I know that's not a view held by a lot of people, but it's the way I feel. My father, brought up in the Welsh Valleys, as myself was, served in the Second World War, and he landed on the Normandy beaches. On his arm he had a tattoo, and that tattoo was a Union Jack. And I said to him, years after I just joined the Royal Navy, "Dad, why are you wearing a Union Jack tattoo on your arm?" And he said, because, he said, this is our flag. And I said, our flag? And he said, our flag. Wales, Ireland, Scotland and England. This is our flag and this is what we fight for. He said, because without being united, we are nothing. What I'd like to talk to you about is the Wales I knew and the Wales that it is today. Now, I was actually born in England. My father, after the war, moved to England to expand his horizons with my mother, both native Welsh, and we lived in a place called Langley in Buckinghamshire. But after about 11 years, my father started to see that the way things were changing. And he saw the first of the colonisers, the first of the enrichers coming in, and he became worried. He was an intelligent man, one hell of a character. If he was alive today, well, I'll tell you what he said to me, guys, I've got to be honest. Just before he died, he said, I'm not so sure I would have run up that beach way back in 1944 on the 6th of June into that machine gun nest if I had known this is what was going to happen to our country. But he believed in our country and that was it. So, at the age of 11, we moved back to Wales, a place called Nantiglow, the home of the Chartist movements, Rebecca rights, early trade unionism. My great-grandfather was a big... Well, there you go. I get up there and I talk for about 20 minutes. I didn't have a script then. It's easy to talk when you talk about something you care about and know about. But that weekend there, somewhere in England, do you know what? I can't even remember where it was. It was fantastic. We slept in tents. We had everything there. Everything. Food, toilets, stuff for the kids. Lots of children there. Lots of patriotic British National members took their children. It was fantastic to see. There was an international ballerina there who supported our cause. She took a lot of stick for it because she believed in the message of the British National Party. I don't know if she got cancelled in the end. There's videos of her out there dancing with the children. It was one of the most beautiful things I've seen. Anyhow, you will make comrade. They'll be your brothers and sisters. Yeah. You campaign together. You might, the men will have to perhaps fight to defend those women. They tried to get through to us at that event. The Reds did. Someone had tipped them off. But we had security all around the place and they did not pass. Unlike the communists, I laugh when they say they shall not pass, talking about the International Brigade in Spain. The International Brigade were not heroes. They murdered, 2,000 priests and raped God knows how many nuns. And what happened in the end? Franco stomped all over them. And we stomped all over those Reds that day. Anyhow, I don't think I've got much more to say. I hope I've given you an idea of what it's like to be an activist. But have a look at the image. That's what I'm fighting for. What are you fighting for? And when I get down, like I was this morning, and in despair, I think, now, Paul, you can't walk away into the breach once more. Oh, God, why do we do it? You've been listening to Paul Morris, The Green Arrow. Hit those likes and subscribes. Told you, give me 14 likes today and I'll put that video up.